Who should awaken Obi-Wan?
Qui-gon Jinn!
I had to pause the episode and look it up. That is, in fact, Liam Neeson.
Yes.
Doing the voice of Qui-Gon Jinn. And no, hey, buddy. Hello. How have you been? Straight into...
Obi-Wan, have you done as I asked? Have you trained the boy?
Why did he ask that question? Was he not watching?
Maybe Force Ghost Qui-Gon has other things to do.
That's the thing. I think Qui-Gon Jinn is off doing his little hippie Force Ghost adventures. Or he's like, I don't know, like hanging out with Elzar Mann on some fucking island writing poetry. Like he's literally not paying attention.
And then he's like, hold on, I sense my old Padawan in a place of extreme force power. I should go have a chat.
Yeah, I think he was like, I sense great sarcasm. Oh, my Padawan.
There is a sassy disturbance in the Force.
There is a sassy disturbance in the Force.
Sassy. This entire conversation with Shmi is the therapy that Anakin needed all along.
Sort of. I mean, maybe not like this, maybe not done by a dark side user.
Yeah, yes, but not in this way.
Yeah.
Because she says things like,
"It is time you realize that your guilt does not define you, my son. You defined your guilt."
Which is something nobody's ever said to him before.
The Jedi of this era are such failures for not even attempting to give this poor boy therapy.
Yes, when he was a boy, he needed a lot more help and support than they gave him. But at a certain point, you turn a corner, you're a grown-ass man, and you're responsible for your own actions and decisions.
Sure. But while he was a Padawan, there's no evidence he ever got that. How does a technologically advanced society miss something as simple as this?
Because technological advancement does not mean emotional intelligence advancement. In fact, it often means the opposite.
Anyway, the Jedi deserve being destroyed, is what I'm saying.
I'm not disagreeing with that point at all. The father's like, these are my children. One of them is light side, one of them is dark side. I exist here to maintain the balance between them. You're the chosen one. You are supposed to do this.
Yep.
So we're going to test to see if you're actually the chosen one. Here's the test. It's going to be super fun. I have told my children to kill your friends. You need to decide which one you're going to save. So Anakin goes full tilt boogie crazy cosmic power in this moment.
Which I love.
He raises his hands, he brings darkness to the sky and rotates it all around, and he uses the force of his will to grab these cosmic representations of the light and the dark side of the Force, and he's not bringing them to balance or making friends with them. What does he do?
He imposes his will upon them and enslaves them.
He forces them to kneel before him.
On your knees!
And can I just say, I love Darkseid-infected Ahsoka.
I kind of do too.
What a creepy little goth doll creature she turns into.
And she's mean.
I love it. Anyway, Anakin finds Ahsoka and he's like, Ahsoka, oh my god, let's get out of here. And Ahsoka's like, I'm Wednesday Addams now.
I know.
And you will address me as such.
I hate when you call me Snips.
Yes, and they have a fight.
Mm-hmm. And Ahsoka is actually, more powerful because she's able to hold her own against Anakin. Obviously, Anakin's not trying to kill her, so he's not going full tilt boogie against her. But nonetheless, they are fighting. I believe Obi-Wan gets involved with the fight, too, and Ahsoka's like,
2 Jedi. Finally, a challenge.
Yeah. Oh, and Ahsoka gave Anakin a message from the Sun.
He said, if you don't join him, he will kill me.
And she's so chipper about it.
I know. The Sun breaks the rules of time.
Yeah. Well, because he's trying to convince Anakin to join him. And Anakin's like, I'm not going to join you. And the Sun's like, well, let me show you what you're going to do if you don't.
Yeah.
And it is heart-wrenching. All of the horrific shit that Anakin Skywalker / Darth Vader will do just all gets dumped into Anakin's brain at once.
And Anakin falls to the dark side completely.
Yes, because he realizes he doesn't want to do any of those things. If what he has to do to prevent all of that bad shit from happening is join with the dark side, then that's what he's going to do, which is exactly the decision that he will make. To prevent bad things from happening, he's going to join with the dark side.
There's a huge difference, though.
Oh.
When Anakin falls in Revenge of the Sith, he falls and becomes a Sith.
Mm-hmm.
Anakin is not going to become a Sith in this way with the Sun. The Sun wants to destroy the Sith just as much as Anakin does.
Right.
Anakin becomes a full-fledged Darksider. He doesn't want to become a Sith in this version of Darkseid Anakin. He's something more than that. He's much worse. If this version of Anakin left Mortis, he would have been far deadlier than Vader could have ever been, because he wouldn't have been restrained by Palpatine at this point. He wouldn't have ended up in the lavas of Mustafar.
Right.
He would have been, the son probably would have had a rival in Anakin eventually.
But first, they would lay waste to the galaxy.
Of course.
It's the usual dark side bargain. We will end all war and bring peace to our galaxy, by subjugating everyone and everything.
Yeah. What a huge what if.
Right? On today's episode of Dave Filoni is the best thing about doing research for a Star Wars podcast. Here he is giving us a little insight into who exactly had the chops to bring back prequel actors for these little episodes in Season 3 of Clone Wars. And, free hint, it wasn't him.
I thought the fans would just go nuts if we could get him back to do it. So I went to, the one person in the galaxy that I know could make this happen, and I talked to Lynn Hale. Now, if you don't know who Lynn Hale is and you're a big fan of Star Wars, you need to do some research and work, because she is a tremendous force at the company. She has been here a very long time. Even more so, she was in contact with all the actors from the original movies. Lynn actually came up and watched the footage, and it's just classic for her. She goes, "Oh my gosh, we have to get him to do this. Not only that, but we have to get Pernilla August to play Shmi." So, next thing I know, Lynn's on the phone with Pernilla and Liam, and she has Pernilla August coming back to reprise her role as Shmi Skywalker, which is amazing. And, she sent the footage of Qui-gon to Liam. And I don't know if that helped or not. I like to think it did. But he decided to come on board and do the show. And, I'm so grateful for that, because he really didn't have to do that. And I think it speaks to how much he really, enjoyed working on Star Wars, and it was such a nice thing to do. And the whole time working with him, Matt Wood and I were just sitting there, and he would say these lines, and he'd say the name Obi-Wan. And I will admit it, the fan inside me was I just kind of looked at Matt Wood and I was like, it's Qui-Gon talking about Obi-Wan.
The Citadel was constructed 522 years before the Battle of Yavin, so this is before the High Republic.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It was constructed by the Jedi Order. And it was there to hold dark rogue Jedi. This place is a beast in terms of how much power is required to run it. That's why it's basically built on top of fucking magma.
Oh, yeah, that would make sense because of the physics. Look, I have a degree in theater. I don't fucking understand it.
We don't do science, so whatever,
But
y'all.
neither does Star Wars, okay?
Yeah.
This isn't Star Trek. They're not analyzing the nitty-gritty of the science. This is Star Wars. Need power? Lava planet. Done.
So yeah, the Citadel is essentially the Alcatraz of the galaxy. Mm-hmm. Even if you get out of the facility, good luck getting the fuck off the planet.
Exactly, because the planet itself is so damn inhospitable.
Yeah.
If you don't fall to your death on the rocky spines, you will burn before you ever hit the surface of the sulfur lava sea. Captain Wilf Tarkin.
Fucking Tarkin.
They meet him and he immediately makes an enormous impression by arguing with General Obi-Wan Kenobi about how they should proceed.
General Kenobi, I think it's better if we stick together. Not in this situation.
I love it.
I knew you would. Here's the thing. Tarkin is such a presence, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's weird that he has such a presence because he's in one movie. He has a cameo at the end of Revenge of the Sith, and he appears in Rogue One. Mm-hmm. Sure. But from the original trilogy, he's in one movie. He's in A New Hope. He's the guy who blows up Alderaan.
Yep.
And that's it. So how does he have this kind of resonance? I'm not saying it's inappropriate. I'm just marveling at the power of this character.
Well, he's like the template of a significant Star Wars archetype, and that's the officer, right?
Mm-hmm. The Imperial officer.
We joke all the time, Imperial officers speak in British accents, and they're really mean and dastardly and just complete dicks. I mean, that is Tarkin.
Right.
That is all of Tarkin. And that's an archetype that gets carried through every single Star Wars project. Mm-hmm. And I love it.
Peter Cushing, man, that was powerful. But also, talking about the improvement of the animation, they have finally really really fine-tuned facial expressions.
Yeah, absolutely.
To the point where they can replace lines of dialogue with facial expressions.
Oh.
Like, there's a moment where Tarkin says something shitty, and Ahsoka's like, And Anakin walks by, and he's like, well, he's got a point. And the what the fuck face she gives him, that was an amazing expression. There's a point later where some B-1 battle droids are suddenly informed, while Obi-Wan Kenobi is standing right in front of them, that he's an escaped prisoner, and he smirks at them and then destroys them.
Of course.
And the warden of the prison has a twitchy eye that gets twitchier and twitchier as the whole arc progresses, because he gets more and more and more stressed out. So it's these little details. Because they're able to animate fine facial expressions, they're able to do a lot more showing and less telling.
Which is badass.
It's just really good TV. That's just good storytelling. But they can't get on the goddamn ship, because there's just too much heavy fire. So what does ARC Trooper Echo do?
Well, he tries to stop him.
He does. He picks up a shield, and he's trying to make a run for the ship so he can get on it and take out the turrets.
Unfortunately, the commando droids are just too damn good.
If that had been a B-1 manning that turret, he probably would have had a shot.
It would have fucking missed. Unfortunately, the shuttle is destroyed.
With Echo on the ramp. Those were the last two of Domino Squad.
Yeah.
We've watched these clones grow up. So that's it. With Echo dead, Fives is the last domino. All of the other dominoes have fallen.
And with that, I paused the episode and started to cry.
Right.
Even though I know Echo is still technically alive.
Well, yeah. I mean, spoiler alert, he shows up again later and he'll be in the Bad Batch. But he and Fives are never going to see each other again.
I know. That's why I cried.
That's what kills me.
Yeah.
We talk about voice actors a lot on the podcast because they're amazing, and we're not the only ones who think so. Check this out.
Have the prisoners been captured?
Not yet, my lord. We've located their position, and my droids are moving in now.
To voice Ozzy Sobek, I asked James Arnold Taylor, I said, you do that great Christopher Walken. It's spot on, unbelievable. I said, what if you did that, but not exactly like that, but use the rhythm of it and deepen it, make it a little more gruff, and see if we could use that sense of phrasing and timing to create a kind of interesting vocal performance.
My deepest respect. I was hoping to surprise you with good news.
James did a wonderful job of interpreting that direction and creating a very kind of quirky yet malevolent villain that I think is one of the better ones.
Y'all, this guy right here is still my favorite thing about doing research for a Star Wars podcast, because sometimes his interviews are like deep dives into the soul of the Star Wars universe, and sometimes it's this.
A funny thing, you can't have evidently a carbon freezing chamber without having an Ugnaught running. So I'm imagining somehow that the Ugnaughts must be very good at carbon freezing. They know a lot about it. Because we've got an Ugnaught, or Xalis, running the machine. And I guess maybe when you open the big box to install your own carbon freezing chamber, the Ugnaught's there. Maybe he delivers it. Maybe he's in the box. I don't know. But, it was a neat little nod back to Empire Strikes Back to have an Ugnaught there. Best carbon freezers in the galaxy.
Those are called Juggernaut turbo tanks. Ooh. Actually, the technical term for them is HAV 486 Juggernaut. They're manufactured by Quat Drive Yards. They are military transports that were created for the Clone Wars, of course. They were actually, they started appearing about a year in. But yeah, they are massive all-terrain enforcer vehicles. They can go on jungles, deserts, rocky areas. They require a fuck ton of power to even drive because they're so huge and big.
Right.
And they can contain 300 clone troopers.
I mean, so can I. It's not that
impressive. But not in one day. Right?
Let's not underestimate my power. She ends up being found by a group of younglings. Mm-hmm. Jedi younglings are here.
Is the Jedi Order looking for these younglings?
We don't know. Ahsoka's never heard of them. You would think, because of their age, they're quite young. They're younger than her.
Yeah.
You would think that the Padawan would have heard through the Jedi grapevine about these younglings who went missing on a training mission.
I could be totally wrong. Maybe the Trandoshans are so badass they can go to Coruscant and steal Padawans outside the door.
Just from the temple.
Yeah, just from the temple. But again, that's unlikely.
Yeah. It's just so weird to me that there are a half a dozen younglings that just poofed and disappeared. And nobody's looking for them. Nobody's talking about this. There's no intergalactic Amber Alert about these kids.
And this is why these episodes make me so uncomfortable, because it really doesn't put the Jedi in the best light.
Yeah, get comfortable with that discomfort, because that's just how this goes. If you watch these Trandoshans, there is one in particular who is shorter and sort of stockier than the other Trandoshans. Because the Trandoshans come in all shapes and sizes, remember Ganocht?
Sure.
So, the Trandoshan, this one who's a little stockier than the rest of them, he also wears these goggles with like amber-colored lenses. And he's wearing cargo shorts. Did you find that odd?
Look, the Gap delivers anywhere in the galaxy. You know.
So that Trandoshan has a name. His name is Sochek.
Uh-huh.
He's voiced by D. Bradley Baker because, of course.
Of course.
He's named Sochek because he is a direct nod to John Goodman's character Walter Sobchak from The Big Lebowski.
See what happens, Larry, when you fuck a stranger in the ass!
God damn it.
Down to the yellow lenses and the cargo shorts.
Oh my god.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
The dude abides.
The dude abides. A Wookiee! There's a Wookiee. He's the only prisoner that was on that ship. But it's not just any Wookiee.
No, and I love the long reveal. They have like the shadowy silhouette.
Hear the Force theme playing.
And I start crying.
It's a Wookiee.
Here's the thing. I did not much care for these episodes up to this point, and then they give me fucking Chewbacca.
I know.
That is a cheap fucking trick to make me like this episode, and it worked.
It did.
It worked.
It did.
I like this episode now.
That's exactly my reaction to my notes. It's literally, ugh. Oh my god, Chewbacca, I am in love. This is the best episode ever.
They pulled the same fucking trick on me in Revenge of the Sith, because when I watched the prequel movies, I did not enjoy them.
Right.
But I went to go see the third one because I'm not a punk. I'm gonna watch all three. And I was just kind of like meh all the way through this. And then there was a Wookiee army.
There it is.
Army of Wookiees. Damn it. So I love Revenge of the Sith now. And did you notice on the way into the cave what was sort of just perched outside?
No.
That was a convor.
What?
Yeah. There are convorees, which is the plural, apparently, of convor. Convorees are basically owls with prehensile tails. And they naturally have a very strong connection with the Force. And they were created and named for Anne Convery, Dave Filoni's wife, who I follow on Instagram, and all of you should. She's delightful.
Yeah, she's amazing.
I love her. These particular birds are actually just random wild convorees. They are not the very specific convor that we will see later following Ahsoka everywhere.
Or are they?
They're not. This is Morai is white and green.
Right.
Morai is the owl that follows Ahsoka around, who is an avatar of the light side of the Force, because remember who was brought back to life with the light side of the Force.
Ahsoka.
And so here in this place, we start seeing the visual reminder of that in these convorees. They're already starting to place that here in season 3 of Clone Wars. And that's going to carry through all the way through Rebels. We do have a ding on the nose art counter.
Oh.
In this episode. I'm going to send it to you now. You got to see this nose art.
Come on, browser. You can do it. I believe in you. What is that?
That is a purple Tuca doll holding a knife covered in green blood.
Oh my.
And the Orabesh around that Tuca doll says, "Nice playing with ya."
Oh, wow.
That is on Sugi's ship.
Oh my.
And now I need a tattoo of this Tuca doll.
I know, I was just what to say.
It is the cutest thing and most evil little thing. It's like something straight out of Johnny the Homicidal Maniac. I love it. I like to think that Jonan Vasquez exists in the Star Wars universe. Like there's a version of him, and this is actually one of his characters, the stabbity little Tuca doll. Oh, I love it.
Oh my god, sidebar. What if Jonan Vasquez got to do a Visions episode?
Invader Zim Visions?
I know, right?